Welcome back to Learn with Chris. I'm Chris. So today I'm going to talk about Norse mythology for a second video, and I only have one topic: Odin. Odin being the primary god of the Norse mythos. There's a lot to say about Odin. That's why I am going to give him his own video. And there is a lot to say, so I probably will forget a lot. But let's go with Odin. So Odin is the chief, I would say, of all the Norse gods. The Norse gods there's two families, or maybe two categories, one called the Aesir and the other called the Vanir. And Odin is from the Aesir. He is the father of Thor, quite famously, and Balder, the husband of Frigg. He is the brother of two other gods, Ve and Vili. The name Odin means frenzied one or furious one, and that's a rather interesting name. Odin also, the day Wednesday, and this is something a lot of people don't know, but a lot of the days of the week in English, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a lot of them are actually Norse gods. So Wednesday is actually Woden's day, or the day of Woden, and Woden is another name for Odin. Just like Thursday is another. So Thursday is Thor's day, the day of Thor, which is, of course, one of the most famous Norse gods. I believe Tuesday is Tyr's day and Friday is Frigg's day. So that's something a lot of people don't know. The days of the week actually come from the Norse gods. So let's talk more about Odin. So he's the grandson of the first being in Norse mythology. The first being is a giant called Ymir. And Odin and his brothers, Ve and Vili, they actually murdered Ymir and cut his body into different pieces. And from the stories, Odin and his brothers actually created the world, which they call Midgard, the earth, from the body of this dead giant, from his grandfather. So they killed their grandfather and created the world from his body. It's a very interesting story. So Odin is known for a lot of things. Primarily, he's known for knowledge, wisdom, and magic. So in the Norse idea, there were two forms of magic. One was a female form of magic, and the other was a male form of magic. The female form of magic was called Seidr, and this was the magic of divination, telling the future, prophecy, and that was kind of primarily only women would do that. And then the male magic was called Galdr, and that's rune magic. So I should have a rune here to show you. So this is a rune here. So Odin is credited with discovering rune magic. One of the stories from this book here, the Havamal, was that Odin sacrificed himself to himself on the tree Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights. And then he learned runic magic, which is called Galdr, and he knew like 18 magic spells from that. So, but Odin also knew Seidr magic from this woman here, Gulveig, from this picture. So from the stories, Odin killed this woman, Gulveig, who knew female magic, Seidr, and the idea is that Odin killed her to gain the knowledge of both forms of magic, the male and the female. She was from the Vanir family, and by killing Gulveig, it started a war. It started a war between the Aesir and the Vanir, which the Norse believed was the first war in history, the first war in creation. The war ended in a truce, and the two families kind of joined together after that war. Some of the famous Vanir gods and goddesses like Frey, they're Vanir gods, but they're married to the Aesir, and they live together, and everything seems to be fine after the Aesir-Vanir war. So Odin is known for magic. He's also known for wisdom. One of the most famous stories about Odin is how he learned wisdom, how he learned a lot of the knowledge that he knew. So there was this well, Mimir's well, Mimir being a wise giant or Jotun. And he was wise because at the bottom of his well, he had this water, and he would drink this water every day. And this water would give him a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. Odin wanted that knowledge as well. So he wanted to drink from the well of Mimir. So Odin found out where it was and then traveled. There was a big journey along the way. Probably many things happened on the way to Mimir's well, which I believe is in Jotunheim. And when Odin finally got there, Mimir required a sacrifice of Odin. He wasn't going to let him drink from the well for free. And the sacrifice required was his right eye. So Odin took out his right eye and dropped it in the well, which is why most of the pictures of Odin you will see, he's one-eyed. He's wearing an eye patch. Because he took out his own eye as a sacrifice to drink from the well. Then he did. Mimir gave him access to drink from the water of the well. Odin did, and Odin gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So he's known for magic, he's known for wisdom, and probably most famously, Odin is known for Ragnarok. Now, Ragnarok is the end of the world from the Norse point of view. So in the end of the war, basically there's going to be a war between the gods, the Aesir and the Vanir, and their enemies, the Jotun, the giants. And this war is basically going to destroy everything. Almost all of the gods and the giants will all die. All of the people will die. Not only will the world burn, the tree itself, Yggdrasil, will also burn. So pretty much everything will be destroyed in this end of the world war called Ragnarok. Now, Odin learned, because of his wisdom and his knowledge, that he would die in this fight, and Fenrir, the wolf, would kill him. But Odin wasn't willing to accept this, so he fought back. So in the stories, he was always trying to find people to fight for him against the giants, and this is where we get to the Valkyries. So a Valkyrie the word means chooser of the slain. Val means dead or slain in Old Norse language. Kari is to choose. So the Valkyries are, let's say, agents, helpers of Odin, and they look at a dead battlefield where there was a fight and some warriors died. And they would pick the best of them, the best of the warriors, kind of like taking their soul, and bring them to where Odin lives in Valhall, or Valhalla in regular English. Valhalla, which is the Hall of the Dead. And there they would become what's called Einherjar, and they would train and they would fight day after day after day after day. And there was many, many thousands of warriors, Norse warriors, training in Valhalla, preparing for Ragnarok. So they're Odin's warriors, because Odin wouldn't accept his fate, that he would die by Fenrir in Ragnarok. So he trained his warriors every day to prepare for that fight. So a lot of pictures of Odin you're going to see his ravens, Hugin and Munin. You're going to see his horse, Sleipnir. You're going to see his famous spear, Gungnir, and his two wolves, Geri and Freki. So let's sum up about Odin. Odin is the chief Norse god. He is a god of magic, a god of runes, a god of poetry. He's a necromancer. He has the power to raise the dead and talk to them, because again, he was all consumed with learning information, learning knowledge. He wanted every advantage he could get against the giants in Ragnarok. So he tried to learn everything he could to give himself, maybe he wouldn't die, maybe his side, maybe the gods would defeat the Jotun in the war at Ragnarok. So he could raise the dead and ask them questions. Because the Norse believed that by dying and going to the afterlife, you would have access to more knowledge and more information. So, but Odin was a kind of a dark, not exactly a happy, friendly kind of god, because he again is associated with death, associated with choosing dead people to fight for him. And the common Norse person back in the Viking Age didn't exactly worship Odin. We don't find through our archaeology and through our history so many artifacts or things that indicate that people worshipped Odin. You see a lot of that for Thor, and you see a lot of that for Freya. Very little for Odin. He wasn't even though he was probably the most talked about god in all of the stories, because of his, choosing dead people to fight for him, associated with magic, associated with necromancy. Not a people's god, I would say, right? Like Thor, quite famously, a lot of Norse would have this little amulet on their necks, which was Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. You don't find anything like that for Odin, right? So, okay, I think that's enough about Odin. So I'll make another video, probably about Thor. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the video, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.